Hello everyone. For this example it says suppose that two shapes below are similar shapes. What are the lengths of the missing sides? Okay, so first we have to recall what does it mean for two shapes to be similar. And so on the right you can see in red that I wrote for similar shapes we have that the corresponding angles are congruent and the corresponding sides are proportional. Right, and so remember that means the ratios of the corresponding sides are the same. Okay, so we're going to use that fact to then find the missing lengths for this shape on the right. So what I'm first going to do is let this side length here that I'm going to highlight in purple be equal to x, and then the side length here that I'm going to highlight in green be equal to y. Okay, because those two side lengths are our unknown side lengths, right? They both have question marks. And so what we do in mathematics is we let our unknowns be represented by variables. Okay. So now that I've done that here, I want to solve for x and for y, right? I want to know what those unknown variables are. So now I want to look at these two shapes and figure out what are the corresponding sides and what are the corresponding angles. But in particular, I'm more interested in looking at the corresponding sides. All right, so for the thing that's highlighted in purple, what is its corresponding side looking at the shape on the left? And so here I would say that the corresponding side would be this side length here, and the length is 2 meters. And then here we can see that the corresponding side for the length highlighted in green would be this one here, 3 meters. Okay. So now let's look at the corresponding sides for the others. So here I'm going to highlight this side in red, and its corresponding side would be this side here that I'm also going to highlight in red. And then last but not least, we have this. These set of sides are corresponding sides. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is look at the corresponding sides that both have numbers for their side lengths. So for example, the corresponding sides that are highlighted in red, I see that both of them have numbers, right? The smaller one is 5 meters and the larger one is 10 meters. And in particular, that ratio is 5 to 10. So we have a 5 to 10 ratio. Okay. And then I know that this ratio is going to be equal to another pair of corresponding sides, right? Because I know that these shapes are similar. So what I'm going to do is set this equal to 2 to x, or 2 over x, to represent my ratio for the corresponding sides highlighted in purple. And so I know that these 5 to 10 ratio and this 2 to x ratios are the same because the shapes are similar. So since the shapes are similar, we have the following. Okay, so we have the following. So we have this equation. And now how am I going to solve this equation for x? Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to cross multiply. So here I'm going to multiply the x with the 5, and then multiply the 10 with the 2 to solve for x. So when I do that, I get 5 times x is 5x, which is equal to 10 times 2, which is 20. Okay, and so now to solve for x, I want to divide both sides by 5. And so I get that x is equal to 4. Okay, so I found one of the missing side lengths. Now I'm going to set up another equation. Okay, this was my first one. I need to set up another equation so that I can solve for y. And so I see that that ratio where the y is involved are the two corresponding side lengths that are in green. We have that that ratio is 3 to y. And so I'm going to set that equal to another ratio where I have two numbers. So we'll just use the 5 to 10 ratio like we did in part 1 here. And so now I want to do the same thing. To solve for y, I'm going to cross multiply. And so I get 3 times 10, which is 30, is equal to 5 times y, which is 5y. And then to solve for y, I want to divide both sides by 5. So then I get y is equal to 6. And so I have found the missing side lengths.